Welcome to Somerville Highlander Baseball on Somerville Ed TV.
Bulldogs.
As the Highlanders today take on the Lynn English Bulldogs here at Trum Field. It is an overcast, chilly day, 55 degrees. As we are about to get underway, the Highlanders come in with an overall record of 7-10. There are 3 games remaining for the Highlanders, including this contest against Lynn English. Then they face off against Maimonides, and then they will close at Cambridge on Friday. That is a 7 p.m. game at Cambridge, and that could be a critical game as the Highlanders have the opportunity, if they win today and win against Maimonides, they have that opportunity to go to the playoffs with a victory against Cambridge. They need to go 3-0 in their final 3 games to get that 10-10 record to get into the playoffs. Over on the other side, Lynn English, the Bulldogs looking for their first playoff appearance in quite a while, as they are 9-7 on the season. They are 1 win away from a playoff appearance. So victory today against the Highlanders will not only eliminate the Highlanders from playoff contention in Division II, it will get Lynn English into the playoffs in Division I, where they are 9-7, number 55 overall in Division I. They are coming off a 3-0 victory yesterday against Malden, as that catapulted them into 3rd place, a tie for 3rd place in the GBL with Malden. Highlanders coming off a big victory against Revere. Colin Bourne on the mound yesterday against Revere. Went 6 innings, 6 strong innings in a 5-0 victory for the Highlanders. Preston Ardolino on the mound yesterday to close things down in the 7th inning. He is back on the mound today as the power pitching right-handed sophomore will be on the mound for the Highlanders. Last time he was out as the starting pitcher, it was against Everett. He went 6 innings. He struck out 12 and got the win in those 6 innings. So we are about to get underway as Lynn English has coming to the plate Elward Bito, followed by Elion Pena and Jariel Benzan, who is on the mound today for the Bulldogs. Big stakes here at Trum Field as the Highlanders and the Bulldogs about to get underway. Highlanders defeated the Bulldogs earlier this season 12-0 at Lynn. Ardolino had a huge grand slam in that game for the Highlanders as he starts off. Bito with a strike on the outside. 1 ball, no strikes, or I'm sorry, no balls, 1 strike to Bito. Ardolino, a power pitcher, mainly a fastball. Will throw in a slider as well, as that one's swung on and missed. Likes to move that fastball inside and outside, keep it knee high. Difficult to hit, as Bito able to foul that one off. Staying alive up there, no balls, 2 strikes. Last 2 starts for Preston. He has gone 6 innings. He has struck out 12 in both of those starts. That's a grounder handled at 3rd base by Colin Bourne as he fires it across. That will start things off with an out for the Highlanders. That will bring up Elion Pena, catcher for the Bulldogs today. Change behind the plate for the Highlanders as Kyle Antonelli behind the plate. First pitch from Ardolino to Pena is low for a ball. Pena batting .207 on the season, as that was a ball as well. 2 balls, no strikes. Now the count to Elion Pena. Just underway here from Trum Field. Fastball inside, ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes the count. Chilly day here at Trum, 55 degrees as we start the game. Not a lot of wind, just a chilly breeze, so to speak, and an overcast day, so no high sky to be a problem for the outfielders today. As 4 straight balls will get Pena on to first base with the walk. That'll bring up Jariel Benzan. Benzan batting .250, I should say, on the season.
Courtesy runner number 10, Saul Herrera.
As Herrera will come in, pinch running at first base. As Ardolino fires over. Herrera back in time. Big lead here for Herrera. The pitch comes in there, called strike one to Benzon. Got that fastball right at the knees. That's where Preston wants to keep that one today. He'll mix in the slider. Checks the runner, Herrera, fires over to first. Herrera's back in time. Throws over again. Herrera back in time. Nothing else getting Herrera to shorten that lead a little bit. Still taking a big lead out this time. Fires it over. Herrera back in time. No balls, one strike. Now the count to Benzon. Ardolino's gone to first 3 times in a row. Swung on, fouled back into the screen by Jariel Benzon. No balls, 2 strikes. Now the count. 1 away here. Top half of the first inning. Herrera a little shorter lead this time, and he will be away. Pitch is a strike. Throw down by Antonelli, and Herrera is in safely. So Ardolino gets the strike. Gets the strikeout, I should say. But stolen base for Herrera. That will bring up Gilbert Galva. Galva, one of the best hitters in this lineup. Bats .333 on the season. 8 RBIs as well for Galva. An RBI situation with Herrera on second. Fastball from Ardolino outside. Gets away from Antonelli, but Herrera stays at second. 2 away here, top half of the first inning. Bulldogs threatening as they have a runner on second. .1-0 delivery to Galva. In there for a called strike. Catches the outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now the count to Gilbert Galva. Ardolino checks Herrera at second. Fouled back into the screen by Galva. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Now the count to the Bulldog cleanup man. 2 away here, top half of the first. Ardolino looking to work around a walk issued to the number 2 batter. Fastball up high, ball 2, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Now the count to Galva. Ardolino checks Herrera, the 2-2 offering. Slider just off the outside for ball 3. Runs the count full to Benzon. Runner at second is Herrera. 2 away here, top of the first. Full count offering from Ardolino. Fastball outside for ball 4 as Galva walks to first.
Now batting, left fielder, 13.
Julian Rodriguez will come up now. Rodriguez batting .244 on the season. Now with runners on first and second, 2 away here. As that one gets by Antonelli, tipped off of his glove with the fastball outside. And Herrera able to take first, or third base, I should say. And Galva staying at first. Timeout taken by Coach O'Donnell as he comes out. Quick meeting there. Made his point to Antonelli and Ardolino. And headed back to the dugout. So making sure everybody's on the same page, right? I'm sure is what Coach O'Donnell was doing there. Did not look happy with the performance so far from his battery. As Ardolino fires that one in there, called strike on the outside. Runners on the corners as Ardolino steps off the rubber. He's got Galva if he wants to try, but Herrera would take off. So Galva will go ahead and take second base. So now 2 runners in scoring position for Rodriguez. 0-2 swung on and missed. That will do it as Rodriguez couldn't catch up to the Ardolino heat. Bulldogs threaten, Highlanders turn it away. We go to the bottom of the first here on Somerville NTV. We are back at Trum Field on Somerville NTV. Bottom half of the first inning. The Highlanders come to bat, facing off against Jariel Binzan. Binzan with a 3.71 ERA on the season, 2-2. 2 wins, 2 losses for Binzan as Tommy Griffin will start things off here for the Highlanders. As he looks at a fastball for strike 1. Griffin will be followed by Preston Ardolino and Colin Bourne for the Highlanders. Is that pitch in there for a called strike 2? That was shoulder high, it looked like to me. Binzan will benefit if he gets a high strike like that, as the neck-high pitch is in there for a high ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes now the count to Tommy Griffin. Watching Binzan during the warm-ups. Seemed to be leaving some pitches up high. Ball 2 there outside to Griffin. 2 balls, 2 strikes now the count to the Highlander shortstop. Griffin, hot shot, third base, fielded over there by Perez. He fires it across. And 5-3 will be the putout. As Griffin heads back to the dugout, Preston Ardolino will come to the plate. Ardolino had a huge grand slam against these Bulldogs at Lynn in the 12-0 Highlander victory earlier this season. First pitch from Binzan down low, ball 1. Ardolino's such an exciting player to get to watch as he's developing. 1 ball, 1 strike now the count to Ardolino. He was a freshman last year on a very, very strong team that graduated basically an entire lineup. Hot shot, shortstop by Ardolino, fielded by Beto, fired across, and they will get Ardolino on the 6-3 putout. That'll bring up Colin Bourne. Bourne, the pitcher yesterday for the Highlanders in the 5-0 win over Revere. 6 scoreless innings for Colin. Only 60 pitches in those 6 innings of work, so made quick work of the Patriots. Did Colin to get the win yesterday. Also had a critical hit for the Highlanders in the game as well. That pitch outside for ball 1 to Bourne. Fastball catches the inside to Bourne. 1 ball, 1 strike now the count. That one left up high, ball 2, 2 balls and a strike to Colin Bourne. Scoreless tie here at Trum. 2 away, bottom of the first. Nobody on as that one's fouled back into the screen. Evens the count, 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2-2 from Benzan. Down low, ball 3, runs the count full. Highlanders looking for a little 2-out action here. In the bottom of the first with Bourne up, nobody on base. Payoff pitch from Benzan. Called strike 3. Bourne couldn't believe it, thought it dropped outside on him. That will do it for the Highlanders in the bottom of the first. 1-2-3, they go down. Highlanders out in the field in the top of the second here on Somerville Ed TV. Back at Trum Field on Somerville Ed TV as the Bulldogs will have numbers 6, 7, and 8 coming to the plate. Ingle Thomas, Eldry Bonilla, and Wilfredo Perez facing off against Preston Ardolino. Ingle Thomas was the starter yesterday. He has been tremendous this season on the mound. Started yesterday in the 3-0 shutout of Malden, as he is 5-0 in the season on the mound. First pitch from Ardolino catches the outside for strike 1. That one's a ball from Ardolino. Thomas batting 194 on the season. 1 ball, 1 strike now the count to Thomas. As that's left up high for ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. Chilly day here. Have to wonder whether the pitchers are able to stay warm. As Ardolino goes 3-1 here on Thomas. Swung on and missed by Thomas as he swung right through that one. Makes it a full count here. That one called strike 3. As it caught the inside. Thomas left like frozen pizza. That'll bring up Eldry Bonilla. Bonilla, the DH today. Has not gotten a lot of playing time, has gotten recent playing time, batting .333 though in his 5 games of work. So a capable hitter in limited time as Ardolino catches the outside corner to Bonilla. That one's fouled back into the screen. No balls, 2 strikes. Now the count to Eldry Bonilla. Bases empty here, 1 away. Top half of the second inning. Scoreless tie from Trum. Lots of stakes all over the place. Bulldogs can qualify for the Division I playoffs with a win, as that's fouled back into the screen. Highlanders can keep their hopes alive for a Division II playoff spot with a win, but a loss will drop the Highlanders out of playoff contention this season. Highlanders have been to the playoffs 3 straight seasons. Want to keep that rolling. In order to do that, got to beat the team in front of you, and that one right now is Lynn English. Has swung on and missed by Bonilla. That's the 2nd strikeout of the inning for Ardolino. That'll bring up Wilfredo Perez. It's Perez, a 125 batter on the season, and 34 plate appearances. Swings right through the fastball from Ardolino. Ardolino 2 strikes already this inning. Called strike on the outside. No balls, 2 strikes. Now the count to Perez. Ardolino looking for the 1-2-3. Strike him out. 1-2-3, and he does. As Perez swings and misses, Ardolino blows the Bulldogs away. We'll move to the bottom half of the second inning here on Somerville Ed TV. Back at Trum Field on Somerville Ed TV. We go to the bottom half of the second inning. It'll be numbers 4, 5, and 6 for the Highlanders. Sean Fusco, Donovan O'Brien, and Kyle Antonelli facing off against Jerial Benzan. Benzan put the Highlanders down 1-2-3 in the first. Fusco fouls off his first offering on the first base side. Sean's had an up and down season, started a little cold on the season, got moved down in the lineup, then heated up mid-season. Playing a very strong defensive second base as well. Fusco putting together a nice season here as that's chopped down the first base line that ends up foul. No balls, 2 strikes, now the count to Fusco. That's why I didn't grab that ball, because I didn't want to have to throw it back and miss my throw. Benzon had to chase that one down from the umpire, not from me. 0-2 offering here to Fusco, got out ahead of that one, strike 3. Benzan gets his second K of the game. That'll bring up Donovan O'Brien. O'Brien had a big hit yesterday for the Highlanders in that Revere game.
Now batting, number 30,
as the young
first baseman, Donovan
freshman first
O'Brien.
baseman for the Highlanders. Very young team that the Highlanders have. O'Brien, a freshman, getting a lot of playing time here as he looks at the ball, gets ahead in the count, 2 balls, no strikes. Caden Martell as well out in left field for the Highlanders, getting a lot of playing time as well. We'll see Shea Easter today. Also coming up from the JV team as that's outside to O'Brien. 3 balls, no strikes. Highlanders looking for their first base runner of the game. Benzan down 3-0. O'Brien, a chopper towards third, fielded over there by Beto. Fires it across, and he will get O'Brien. And 2 away here in the bottom half of the second. That'll bring up Kyle Antonelli. As Antonelli back behind the plate today for the Highlanders.
The catcher, number 3, Kyle Antonelli.
A lone senior for the Highlanders, Graham Ross, not behind the plate today for the Highlanders as Antonelli gets that assignment. Grounder up the middle. Benzan tapped it. Coming in, making the play barehanded is Josue Prandi. Great job there by Prandi as he's able to get the put out at first. That will do it. Highlanders go down 1-2-3. We move to the top half of the 3rd inning on Somerville NTV. What's that? Arlena's got 5. 2 in the first inning, 3 when he struck out the side. Who will get it back? We just get it out of play. Back on Somerville Ed TV, we go to the top half of the third inning as the Bulldogs will bring numbers 9, 1, and 2 to the plate. Facing off against Preston Ardolino, 6 strikeouts in the game so far for Ardolino as Josue Prandy steps in after an excellent defensive play to end the Highlanders' bottom of the second. As Prandy swings and misses from the second offering down 0-2 as Ardolino just absolutely overpowering this Bulldogs' bottom half of their lineup. Prandy swings and fouls that back into the screen. As Ardolino looking for his fifth straight K, I should say. This is a hot shot, first base, I should say. Donovan O'Brien booted it around a little bit, unable to make the play.
Now batting, shortstop.
So the Bulldogs get the leadoff man on at the top of the lineup coming up. As Prandy stands at first. That'll bring Eduard Beto back up. As Beto grounded out to third base. Prandy away with the pitch. Antonelli dropped it a little bit, lost the handle on it, and couldn't get it down to second base, held on to it, didn't want to make an errant throw, so Prandy ends up with the stolen base. Bulldogs have something going with a runner in scoring position. Nobody out here in the top of the third. There's that pitch from Ardolino up high to Beto. 1 ball, 1 strike now the count to Eduard Beto. Fastball swung on and missed. Ardolino out ahead, 1 ball, 2 strikes. 6 strikeouts in the game for Ardolino. He's also walked 2. And now Prandy stands at second base. So that pitch left up high for ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Now the count to Beto. Elion Pena stands on deck. He walked. Back in the first, was left stranded at third base. The pinch runner that came in for him, I should say, Herrera was. As that swung on and missed. He pulled the slider out of the bag there and got him swinging at it.
Catcher, number 8.
As Eduard Beto heads to the dugout, Elion Pena will come to the plate with 1 away here in the top half of the third. Highlanders and Bulldogs tied at 0s. Runner on second is Prandy. He reached on an error. Slider that time. Stayed outside. Just didn't quite clip the plate for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes, now the count. Fastball down low, outside, ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes, now the count to Pena. Pena walked back in the first, already ahead here, 2-0. Only 1 away here in the top of the third. Runner at second is Prandy. Ardolino will check him. Fastball down in the dirt. Prandy heading to third, and he will be in safely. As Antonelli was able to find that ball quickly, but just couldn't quite get it down in time, so the Highlanders will bring in the corners with Prandy on third. 3-0, Pena is up. That fastball's in there for a called strike. 3 balls, 1 strike, now the count to Elion Pena. One away here in the top of the third inning. Ardolino looking to pitch out of some trouble here, but he leaves that up high. So runners will be on the corners for the heart of the Bulldogs lineup as Jeriel Binzon will come up. He struck out back in the first inning. So Herrera will come back in to run for Pena.
Number 22.
So Herrera got the stolen base and was left stranded back in the first inning. 1 away here top half of the third. Bulldogs threatening as Herrera away with the pitch. Antonelli stares the runner back at third, and Herrera will take another stolen base. Pitch was a ball. So Benzan up, 1 ball, no strikes. Fastball in there for a called strike. Evens the count, 1 ball, 1 strike to Benzan. As Ardolino looking to pitch out of some trouble here with only 1 away. Bulldogs on second and third. Swing and a miss by Benzan as he swung through that one. Strike 2, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Now the count to Benzan. Jeriel Benzan looking to help his own cause with 2 runners in scoring position. 1-2 offering from Ardolino, left up high for ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Now the count to Jeriel Benzan. 2-2 offering from Ardolino. Inside for ball 3. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Full count. Preston on the verge of walking the bases loaded. Payoff pitch, left up high, ball 4. So the bases are filled with Bulldogs. Coach O'Donnell out of the dugout, pacing around a bit, calls the infield in. Trying to prevent the run from scoring from third, Gilbert Galva. The Bulldog you do not want up in this situation with his .333 batting average steps up to the plate. He walked back in the first, was left stranded at second base. 1 out. As the fastball is in there for called strike 1. High strike given to Ardolino right there. Fastball just up high. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now the count to Gilbert Galva. So Highlanders have the infield in all the way around. Bases filled with Bulldogs. That one's fouled back into the screen as Galva held back on the slider just enough to make some contact. So Ardolino ahead now of Galva. 1 ball, 2 strikes. There's 1 away here. Highlanders scoreless tie with the Bulldogs, but the Bulldogs are on all the bases. Galva swings and misses at the high cheese, and that's 2 away here in the top half of the third inning. As that will bring up Julian Rodriguez. Rodriguez struck out with runners on second and third back in the first inning to end that threat. Now the bases are loaded up for Mr. Rodriguez. It's Ardolino getting his 7th strikeout of the game with Galva, or 8th strikeout, I should say, of the game on Galva. First pitch outside to Rodriguez for ball 1. Bulldogs have the bases loaded. 2 away here, top of the third. As that one's in there for a called strike to Rodriguez. Ardolino got the most dangerous Bulldog out with the strikeout, Gilbert Galva, for the 2nd out. Now looking to end this threat against Rodriguez as Rodriguez swings through that one. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Now the count to Julian Rodriguez. As Ardolino 1 strike away from getting out of this bases loaded, 1 out jam. Fastball back into the screen. Rodriguez stays alive. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Prandy stands at first. He reached on an error. Herrera stands at second. Benzan is at first. They both walked. That fastball left up high for ball 2, I should say, to Rodriguez. 2 balls, 2 strikes, now the count. 2s are wild. There are 2 outs. Ardolino 1 strike away from getting out of this jam. And he will find that strike as Rodriguez swings and misses. And the bases loaded jam is turned away by the power pitching of Preston Ardolino with his 9th strikeout of the game. We will go to the bottom half of the 3rd inning, tied up at zeros here at Trum on Somerville Ed TV. Back at Trum Field, bottom half of the 3rd inning, scoreless tie between the Bulldogs and the Highlanders. Bulldogs left them full in the top of the 3rd. Highlanders still looking for their first base runner here in the bottom of the 3rd. They've got the bottom 3rd of the lineup. Shea Easter, Caleb Seeley, and Caden Martell. As that is a hit back to the pitcher. Benzan will underhand it over to first base, and Shea Easter is taken care of on the 1-3 putout. Easter kind of trying to protect himself there as the young freshman got the opportunity there, but Caleb Seeley now coming to the plate. Seeley, a sophomore. He's gotten a good amount of playing time. DH today for the Highlanders. He swings and misses at the first offering from Benzan. Benzan changing speeds out there, being very effective, holding the Highlanders without a base runner. Seeley swings through that offering. No balls, 2 strikes. Now the count to Caleb. That one left outside for ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Now the count to Seeley. Caden Martell waits on deck. That one left up high. Ball 2, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Now the count to Caleb Seeley. 1 away here, bottom half of the 3rd inning, scoreless tie. Seeley fouls that back into the screen. The stakes are simple. The Bulldogs win, they are in the Division I playoffs, and the Highlanders are out of the Division II playoffs. If the Highlanders win, they remain alive for the Division II playoffs, and Lynn English will move on to playing Medford, trying to get into the Division I playoffs. As that is tipped into the glove for the strikeout of Seeley on the full count offering from Benzan. That will bring up Caden Martell.
Now batting, the left fielder.
Martell along with Donovan O'Brien and Hugh Spear. The freshman getting a lot of playing time on the varsity roster so far this season as Martell looks at strike 1 from Benzan. That pitch left up high for ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now the count to Caden Martell. 2 away here, bottom half of the 3rd inning, scoreless tie at Trum. Bulldogs have been dancing around the bases, left 2 on the bases in the 1st, left 3 on in the 3rd. Highlanders looking for their first hit as Martell hits that to 3rd, or short I should say. Beto comes up firing and he will get the out. 1, 2, 3, the Highlanders go in the 3rd. We'll move to the top half of the 4th inning. Scoreless here at Trum on Somerville Ed TV. Back at Trum Field on Somerville Ed TV. Want to remind everybody as we're about to get underway in the top half of the 4th inning, there will be playoff action coming up for Highlanders teams here in the spring, as the volleyball team currently ranked number 20 in Division II. They have qualified for the playoffs. We'll find out their matchups this coming weekend. And the girls lacrosse team in the playoffs yet again, 3rd year in a row for them. And we will find out their matchup as well this coming weekend as Ingle Thomas steps in and looks at a called strike from the first pitch from Preston Ardolino. Thomas swings and misses at high heat for strike 2. Ardolino blew through this bottom portion of the lineup as he struck out Thomas. Looking back in the 2nd, Thomas hits this one deep into center field over Lucas Oliver's head, I should say, as he gets that into the cutoff man. And Mr. Thomas is at 2nd with the first hit of the game. Strong double into center field by Ingle Thomas. That will bring up Eldry Bonilla. Bonilla struck out back in the 2nd inning. Ardolino, 9 strikeouts in the game so far. As that is in there for a strike. Called strike there on the high heat. That high strike being called consistently. Ardolino out ahead of Bonilla. No balls, 2 strikes as he checks Thomas at second. That one's in there for called strike 3, catching that outside. Ardolino with his 10th of the game. Actually, that is his 9th of the game. My goodness, I've given him double digits too early. As he checks Thomas at second, 1 away. As Perez looks at strike 1 on the outside. Ardolino mixing it up a little bit, getting that slider involved as well. That's that heat, though. That knee-high heat from Preston Ardolino. So hard to catch up to as Perez swinging through it. Fastball outside for ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes now the count to Wilfredo Perez as Engel Thomas stands at second. Bulldogs have had action on the base paths in 3 of the 4 innings. Swung on and missed by Perez as he couldn't catch up to the high cheese. That's strikeout number 10 for Preston Ardolino. And Josue Prandi will come to the plate. Prandi was left stranded at third back in the 3rd inning, just last inning in that bases loaded situation. Reached by virtue of an error to lead off that inning as he checks Thomas at second. Pitch is in there. Bounced out of the glove for a moment as it was a strike. But Antonelli very quickly on it before Thomas could move. Ardolino ahead, no balls and a strike. As that gets by Antonelli all the way back to the screen, so Thomas will take second on the wild pitch. Or third, I should say, on the wild pitch. Prandi has the RBI opportunity now with the 1-1 count. 2 outs here, top of the 4th inning. Bulldogs have had a runner on third in the 1st, 3rd, and now the 4th inning. Ardolino's been pitching around that as his fastball outside. Ball 2 to Prandi. 2 balls, 1 strike. Now the count to Josue Prandi. As that pitch left up high for ball 3. 3 balls and a strike now to Prandi. That's called strike. Runs the count full. Full count offering, fly ball right field. Shea Easter was playing him too far in, so the runner Thomas will come in to score as that got over Easter's head. And Prandi is in at second with the RBI double.
Now batting, shortstop, number 6, Eward Biafra.
So Prandi on base both times. Big double there. Got over the head of Shea Easter, and that'll bring up Eward Beto. He is 0 for 2 on the day. He's got Prandi standing at second as Ling English has broken through against Ardolino. There's that from Beto. Foul over towards Broadway. No balls, 1 strike, now the count. Runner at second is Prandi after that RBI double. Another shot out into right field. Easter getting turned around out there. Couldn't quite track it down. Prandi will come in to score. Beto is in second with the RBI double. Two to nothing now. The Lynn English lead as the Bulldogs have broken through. Elion Pena will come to the plate. That pitch up high from Ardolino for ball 1 to Pena. Pena has walked twice and been stranded on base twice. Runner at second is Beto. As that pitch catches that high portion of the zone, evening the count, 1 ball, 1 strike. As Ardolino trying to get out of this limiting the damage to only 2 runs. Swung on and missed by Pena as he fouls it back into the glove of Antonelli. As Ardolino looking to close things down here with the strikeout. No, fastball goes outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes now the count to Pena. As the Bulldogs have 2 in, they lead 2-0 here in the 4th. Fastball up high, runs the count full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, the count to Elion Pena. Beto at second base. Pena swings through the fastball, and that will do it. But the Bulldogs get 2 across on 2 RBI doubles, and they lead 2-0. We go to the bottom half of the 4th inning. Highlanders got some work to do here at Trum on Somerville NTV. Back at Trum Field as the Bulldogs have pulled ahead 2-0. RBI doubles in the top half of the 4th inning by Josue Prandi as well as Eward Beto, I should say, have the Bulldogs leading 2-0. Highlanders still looking for their first base runner as the top of the order will come up here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Tommy Griffin, Preston Ardolino, and Colin Bourne. As Griffin grounded out to third back in the 1st. First pitch from Benzon inside for ball 1. Jariel Benzon has been very effective on the mound, only 34 pitches through 3 innings of work. As that one's inside for ball 2, you get kind of a feeling, as you see Tommy Griffin being very patient at the plate. Highlanders want to make Benzon come to them in terms of pitching, and that's going to be the first Highlander hit as the hot shot in the left field by Tommy Griffin for the single. Highlanders get things going here as Preston Ardolino will come up. Tommy Griffin now stands at first.
Number 16, Preston Ardolino.
Ardolino grounded out to shortstop back in the 1st. Griffin a good lead at first. Benzon fires over. Griffin back in time. Bulldogs got those 2 runs in the top half of the 4th. Highlanders answering back would be a great thing for them to try to do here, obviously. Ardolino at the plate has the power, honestly, to tie this game in one mighty swing. He did that with a grand slam. Showed his mighty swing with a grand slam at Lynn English. It's Benzon firing it over to first multiple times. Griffin leading away. Pitches in there for a ball. As the Highlanders looking more patient here. Second time through the lineup for Benzon. Griffin unable to get away from first as Galva didn't put the squeeze on it, but was able to get the glove to that ball from Benzon, so it kept it in play. Griffin leads away, doesn't go. Ardolino looks at ball 2. Their ball. 2 balls, no strikes now the count to Preston Ardolino. Griffin leads away from first. That pitch left up high by Benzon. He's down 3-0 to Ardolino. Nobody out here, bottom half of the 4th inning. Bulldogs put 2 across in the top half. Highlanders look to answer back as that is ball 4. Ardolino will take first. Griffin moves on to second. Colin Bourne comes up. He struck out looking back in the 1st. It was a full count pitch. He did not agree with the call of the umpire. We'll see. How Colin does here against Benzon as Tommy Griffin tying his shoes. A little lace maintenance going on at second base. Nobody out. Highlanders have runners on first and second, trailing 2-0 after Lynn English put 2 across in the top of this inning. That one outside. Ball 1 to Colin Bourne. Benzon struggling with his control, has yet to throw a strike this inning that has not been hit. Griffin got a base knock on what I assume was a strike, as that is a called strike in there to Bourne. 1 ball, 1 strike now the count to Colin. Colin had a big hit against Revere yesterday, as well as was the winning pitcher. 6 innings of work, shutout. 6 innings for Colin, as that's down in the dirt for ball 2. 2 balls and a strike now to Colin Bourne. Big stakes today for the Highlanders. A loss will knock them out of the Division II playoff picture. A win for Lynn English will get them into the Division I playoffs. As Bourne, hot shot, but straight to second baseman Prandy. Diving back is Ardolino. Galva could not get the squeeze on it, so the double play not there. Line out to the second baseman, Prandy. Will be the first out of the inning for the Highlanders. It'll bring up Sean Fusco. Fusco, the lefty sophomore. Second baseman, struck out back in the second. That pitch left up high by Benzon. Ball 1 to Fusco. That down in the dirt. Nice job by Pena blocking that one. Keeps the runners where they are, first and second base. 2-0 is the count to Fusco. 1 away here, bottom half of the 4th inning. Highlanders trying to answer back. After 3 doubles, put the Bulldogs ahead 2-0. Fusco out ahead of that one as he changed speed on it. Griffin leaning the wrong way. Pena tried to get it down to second base, but Griffin back easily. 2 balls, 1 strike now the count to Sean Fusco. Donovan O'Brien waits on deck for the Highlanders. Fusco looks at strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes now the count to Sean Fusco. Fusco, as I noted, a sophomore, more of that youth on this team. Only 1 senior rostered on this varsity Highlander squad. It's Fusco, hot shot up the middle, that'll get through. Rounding third is Griffin as he heads for home. Ardolino holds up at second base, but the Highlanders on the RBI single by Sean Fusco are on the board, trailing by 1. Tommy Griffin comes in to score the run for the Highlanders. Ardolino stays at second. Donovan O'Brien will come up with 1 away here. So the Highlanders have broken through against Jariel Benzon. Fastball up high and outside by Benzon for ball 1. Benzon perfect through the first 3. Struggled with his control here in the 4th inning. Highlanders looking a lot more patient at the plate as well. That pitch down low, ball 2. Pena trying his best to frame that one. So the Highlanders have the tying run in scoring position. That's Preston Ardolino. 2-0 delivery. O'Brien into left field. Drifting back, making the play, Julian Rodriguez. Good arm to the cutoff man, and that will hold the runners where they are. So 2 away here as Kyle Antonelli will step to the plate. Actually, strike that. Antonelli will be pinch hit for. As Graham Ross, that lone senior I spoke of, coming on to pinch hit for Kyle Antonelli. See whether Graham will stay at the catching position. I believe he might. Antonelli, Ardolino's personal catcher. Might mean we may have a different pitcher as well coming up, as Preston up above 80 pitches in this game so far. So Graham Ross settling in. Fouls that one back into the screen. Runners on first and second, 2 away, 1 run in for the Highlanders. They trail 2-1. Ross can tie it up with a base knock. That's a blooper out in the left field. That's going to be tough to get to. It's going to drop in. Ardolino was off with the pitch, and he's going to be in safely. But Ross, wow, goodness, Fusco safe at second as he dove back. It looked really close, but Fusco called safe. So the Highlanders get the run as Ardolino comes in to score on the RBI single by Graham Ross. And they got us a tie ball game here at Trump. Umpire there, the field umpire, explaining he was right on top of the play. From our angle, it looked like a very close play. Fusco, I don't know whether he was back in time or not. The angle from the umpire, though, the field umpire had a tremendous angle. Lynn English coaching staff not happy about the call. It was dicey whether, honestly, Ardolino was across home plate by the time the play at second occurred. So an out at second might eliminate the run for the Highlanders, as Ardolino, I don't know when he crossed the plate. He is safe. Field umpire speaks to the home plate umpire, holds his ground. Final words from the Lynn English head coach. And Shea Easter will have the opportunity. Easter check swung protectively at the first pitch he saw and grounded back to the pitcher. 0 for 1 on the day. Looks at strike one from Benzon. 2 away here. Highlanders have tied it up on singles by Fusco and Ross. Pitch gets away from Pena. Fusco sliding in at third. Graham says, I'll just trail you right there and take second base. So Sean Fusco in at third. Highlanders have runners on second and third. Freshman Shea Easter at the plate. So Easter looks at strike two. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Now the count to Shea Easter. 2 away here. Bottom half of the fourth. Tied up 2-2. As Lynn English got 2 in the top, Highlanders have answered with 2 in the bottom. Go ahead run is at third. Easter looks at called strike 3. And that will do it for the Highlanders here in the fourth, but they get 2 across against Benzon. We are tied up at 2s as we go to the 5th on Somerville Ed TV. Back at Trum Field, tied up at 2s as we move to the top half of the 5th inning. Preston Ardolino still on the mound for the Highlanders. Graham Ross will come in at catcher. In Ardolino. Also, we have a change out in right field as well. Van Easter in for Shea Easter in right field. Those are the defensive changes for the Highlanders as Ardolino still on the mound. He'll face off against Benzon, Galva, and Rodriguez as Jeriel Benzon steps in. Benzon 0 for 1 in the day, struck out back in the first, walked, and was left stranded in the third. First pitch from Ardolino, knee-high strike. And English got 3 doubles to score 2 runs in the top half of the first. Highlanders answered back as Graham Ross and Sean Fusco with RBI singles for the Highlanders. 1-1 now to Benzon. As that's left up high for ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. Ardolino now up around 90 pitches in this game. As that one left outside, ball 3, 3 balls and a strike. The count to Jeriel Benzon. Sure, Coach O'Donnell would love to get through this heart of the Bulldogs order as that fastball knee high in there for called strike. Runs the count full. Full count offering, swung on and missed by Benzon. Ardolino rings up another one.
Now batting, first baseman, number 23, Gilbert Galva.
11 strikeouts for Ardolino in the game. And that will do it for Preston Ardolino as he will give way here after going up against Jeriel Benzon. Tommy Griffin will take the mound for the Highlanders. It's a quick exchange. Ardolino moves to shortstop. Tommy Griffin will take the mound. We'll take a minute here to talk about what's going on here in the late spring on Somerville Ed TV. Don't forget, we will have playoff coverage of Highlander volleyball as long as we are able to broadcast from wherever it is located. It could very well be a home game, as a matter of fact, as they are ranked number 20 right now in the most recent MIAA rankings. They are number 20 in Division II. That lines them up for the possibility of a home playoff game in the qualifying round. If not, they will be pushed right through into the round of 32, likely a road game. We will have coverage of that here on Somerville Ed TV as the volleyball team makes their way back to the playoffs for the first time in 3 years. Over on the turf, the girls lacrosse team back into the playoffs for the third straight season, as we will find out their matchup this weekend as well. So keep an eye on MIAA.net. That's where you'll find those matchups for those two playoff-bound Highlander squads. The girls lacrosse team back into the playoffs, third straight year. Volleyball team after a big victory against Revere. They've got 11 wins on the season. They'll be closing out against Chelsea as they get tuned up for the playoffs. A big win against Revere. Great opportunity to show that they are fully healthy as they head into the playoffs. I don't think they're a team anybody wants to mess around with. They had a great matchup against Cambridge, number 6 in Division I Cambridge. Really great volleyball game. We have that for you here on Somerville Ed TV. If you want to check that one out, it was a fantastic 5-setter. Cambridge ended up coming away victorious in that one, but I'll tell you, it was a fantastic matchup. So keep it here on Somerville Ed TV. Mash those buttons for us. Get those subscribers up or up above 3,000. We really appreciate it so much. Like, share, subscribe. Keep button mashing for us and keep on following us here on Somerville Ed TV. As Tommy Griffin will take the mound for Preston Ardolino. He will go off against Gilbert Galva. Galva came in today batting .333. Tough matchup here for Griffin right off the bat. Ardolino moves too short. First offering to Galva. Called strike on the outside. As Griffin gets things going well. That's in there for called strike 2 to Galva. Griffin quickly ahead, no balls, 2 strikes. That's just outside. Ball 1, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Now the count to Galva. One, 2 to Galva. That's a heck of a shot left field. He got all of that one as it bounces off the wall up onto the berm out there. Galva in at second base with the double down the line. That one off the fence in left field. What a shot there by Galva. That will bring up Julian Rodriguez with Galva at second base. Another inning with the Bulldogs with a runner in scoring position. Doubles have been the dish of the day. That's the 4th double for the Bulldogs in this game. As Griffin checks the runner, fires that one in the dirt, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes to Julian Rodriguez. Rodriguez struck out twice against Preston Ardolino. Ardolino had 11 strikeouts in his 5 1/3. As we're going to have a pinch runner in for Galva at second. That'll be Doibel Guzman. Guzman now at second base for the Bulldogs. He is the go-ahead run with 1 away here in the top of the 5th. As that chopper back to the mound, Griffin will toss it to first to get the put out. Guzman takes third. So the go-ahead run stands 90 feet away. Engel Thomas comes to the plate. Thomas had one of those doubles. He started things off for the Bulldogs. He got the first hit of the game for them with a strong shot. Deep fly ball to center field for his double. He came around to score the first run for the Bulldogs. First offering from Griffin outside for ball one. Bulldogs, Highlanders tied at 2s. Runner is on third though. So the Bulldogs looking to take the lead. That one's fouled off into the screen. Engel Thomas at the plate, the center fielder for the Bulldogs. 1 for 2 on the day with a run scored. He struck out looking against Ardolino and then doubled against Ardolino in the fourth. That one from Griffin. Down low, ball 2, 2 balls and a strike now to Engel Thomas. Runner at third is Guzman. There's 2 away as Griffin tries to get out of this trouble. Evens the count 2-2 as Thomas fouls that back into the screen. Inning started with Preston Ardolino on the mound. He struck out Jariel Binzon, and Galva doubled. Pinch runner is Guzman. He stands at third. Rodriguez grounded back to the pitcher. 2-2 offering to Thomas. Ground ball, third base. Colin Bourne ranges over, fires across the diamond, and that will do it for the Bulldogs' threat in the fifth. We remain tied at 2s as we move to the bottom half of the fifth inning here on Somerville Ed TV. Back at Trum Field on Somerville Ed TV. Chilly, overcast day here at Trum, but we got a heck of a game as we move to the bottom half of the fifth inning. Highlanders and Bulldogs tied at 2s. Both teams with playoff aspirations. The Bulldogs can achieve those aspirations with a victory. The Highlanders need 3 more wins. This could be the first of those 3, but a loss will eliminate them from playoff contention. As Caleb Seeley steps in against Jariel Binzon. As Seeley looks at ball 1. He struck out back in the third inning. Gets out ahead of Binzon 1-0 here in the fifth. Out ahead of that one. 1 ball, 1 strike now the count to Caleb Seeley. Binzon went perfectly through 3 innings. Second time through the lineup, ran into problems. So Highlanders got 2 runs across in the fourth. That one left up high and outside. Seeley takes it for ball 2. 2 balls and a strike now to Caleb. Highlanders have been much more patient in terms of handling Binzon's pitches, allowing him to work a little bit deeper. He went from 15 pitches in the first, 8 in the second, 11 only in the third. 24 pitches was how many it took him to get through the fourth inning. And he is down 3-1 to Caleb Seeley, leading off the bottom of the fifth. As he fires that one in there for a called strike, runs the count full. And that one outside, ball 4. So Seeley will take first. That will bring up Caden Martell. As Martell grounded out to shortstop back in the third, 0 for 1 on the day. Pinch runner at first base for the Highlanders will be Hardy. As the bunt was on, Martell pulled the bat back for ball 1. As Hardy stands at first. Martell with the bunt that time, fouls it off first base side. Now Hardy leads away. Bunted by Martell, that'll be foul. Runs the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes now. So Highlanders looking to get that go-ahead run into scoring position. Number 9 batter at the plate. Caleb Seeley, the number 8 batter, walked. Hardy is in, running for him. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Now the count to Caden Martell as that was down low for ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Now the count to Martell. Cash Hardy at first base for the Highlanders. As Martell pops that up just into left field. As Beto ranges back and puts the squeeze on that one, first out of the inning. Highlanders turn the lineup over. Tommy Griffin, 1 for 2 on the day with a run scored. He got the first hit for the Highlanders against Benzon.
Tommy Griffin.
And then was brought in relief for Preston Ardolino to pitch in the top of this inning. Cash Hardy stands at first for the Highlanders. 1 away here, bottom half of the 5th inning. Ardolino on deck. That pitch from Benzon up high. Pena fires down to first. Hardy back in time. As Galva keeps an eye on him, see if he left that bag at all. He would have applied the tag. 1-0 the count now to Griffin. Griffin swings through that one. Tried to hold up. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now the count. That catches the outside for strike 2, I should say. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Now the count to Tommy Griffin. 1 away here, bottom of the 5th inning, tied up 2-2. And Griffin swings and misses. 2 away here for the Highlanders as Preston Ardolino steps to the plate. Ardolino 0 for 1 on the day, walked and scored in the 4th. That pitch up high by Benzon. Ardolino had a grand slam at Lynn English in that 12-0 victory early this season. Highlanders started the season lots of difficulties, tight games. They lost 6 of their first 7 games. Of those, 3 of them were 1-run games. It's a tough luck team the first half of the season. They've been able to put it together here in the second, getting some nice wins. Still in line for the possibility of the playoffs. As Ardolino looks at strike 1, 2 balls, and a strike to Preston. Swung on and fouled back into the screen. Evens the count, 2 balls, 2 strikes. As Benzon gave up the leadoff walk, looking to work his way around that. Cash Hardy stands at first. 2-2 is the count with 2 away. Ardolino pops that one up. It will get out of play. Count remains 2 balls, 2 strikes to Preston Ardolino. Ardolino started this game at pitcher, has moved to shortstop. Tommy Griffin took the mound. 2-2 offering to Ardolino down low for ball 3, runs the count full. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Preston Ardolino. 2 away here, bottom of the 5th, tie ball game. And Ardolino swings through the high cheese from Benzon, and that will do it. As Benzon able to get 2 strikeouts to end the inning. Great job by Jariel Benzon. We'll go to the top half of the 6th inning, tied up at 2s at Trum on Somerville Ed TV. Back here at Trum Field, tied up 2-2. Bulldogs versus the Highlanders. As we go to the top half of the 6th inning, the Bulldogs will have the bottom third of the order. Bonilla, Perez, and Prondi coming up. They will be facing off against Tommy Griffin. Tommy was brought in relief of Preston Ardolino back in the 5th inning. Preston went 5 1/3, allowed 2 runs, both earned on 3 hits, walked 4 and struck out 11. Tommy got the last 2 outs of the 5th inning. As he will start here against Bonilla with a ball.
Now batting the designated hitter, number 15, Eldry Bonilla.
As I noted, Bonilla, limited action, only 5 games played this year, but he has a .333 batting average, so he knows how to swing the bat. That's in there for a called strike from Griffin. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now the count to Bonilla. 1-1 offering from Tommy. Down low, ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. Swung on and missed for strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Now the count to Bonilla. Two offering. Fouled back into the screen. Count remains 2-2. Lots of stakes in this game, as I've noted throughout. Lynn English can qualify for the Division I playoffs with a victory today against the Highlanders. That would also eliminate the Highlanders with that loss from the Division II playoffs. However, the Highlanders need to win their last 3 games. This game against Lynn English, and then the game coming up Wednesday against Maimonides, and then final game of the year at Cambridge could be a must-win for the Highlanders to get into the playoffs. Full count offering here to Bonilla. And that's a fly ball left center. Ranging over is Oliver, and Lucas makes the play deep in left center field. Great job there by Lucas Oliver as he ranged over to make that catch. That will bring up Wilfredo Perez. Perez 0 for 2 on the day with 2 strikeouts. He was victimized twice by Preston Ardolino. Ardolino had 11 strikeouts and 5 1/3. As Griffin leads that up high for ball 1. 1 away here, top half of the 6th inning, tied up 2-2. Playoff implications all over the place. That's just what you want on the last week of the regular season, as that's in there for called strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now the count to Perez. Talking to Coach O'Donnell. He's happy with how this team's really coming together. Ball 2, 2 balls and a strike to Perez. Very happy with how this team is maturing and coming together. Such a young team the Highlanders have out there. Only 1 senior on the roster, and that's behind the plate, Graham Ross. Tommy Griffin on the mound, one of the junior leaders on this team, as the high heat gets Perez swinging through it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Now the count to Wilfredo Perez. And that's a number down the third base line. Bourne charging in. It's going to be foul. Count remains 2-2. Two from Griffin. Called strike 3.
The second baseman.
2 away here as Griffin gets his first strikeout of the game. That will bring up Josue Prandi. Prandi has had a tremendous game. Reached by virtue of an error back in the 3rd, was left stranded at 3rd base, and then gave the Bulldogs a lead with an RBI double into right field back in the 4th inning. Called strike 1 from Tommy Griffin to Prandi. Prandi, a double RBI and a run scored in the game today. Looks at strike 2 from Griffin. 2 away here, top half of the 6th inning. 0-2 is the count to Prandi. As Griffin leaves that one up high. Ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Now the count to Prandi. One, 2. Down in the dirt. Ball 2, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away here. Top half of the 6th inning. That one down in the dirt as well, runs the count full. As Griffin trying to get that last strike for a 1-2-3 inning. Prondy is yet to be put away today. He's reached base both times he's been up. And that's left up high. Ball 4. So Prondy, 3 times at the plate, 3 times he's been on base.
Number 6, Eward Beato.
That will bring up Eward Beato. As Beato had an RBI double back in the 4th as well, 1 for 3 in the game. Runner is away as Ross fires it down. Prondy picks up the stolen base. That's his 2nd of the game. So Lynn English, the go-ahead run, stands in scoring position with 2 outs here in the top half of the 6th inning. As Beato watches ball 2 up high. Graham Ross will head to the mound to talk to his junior hurler. Griffin got through the first 2 batters in this inning. Eldry Bonilla put a charge into it into left center field, but great job by Lucas Oliver as he was able to track it down and then got Wilfredo Perez looking with the strikeout. Lost Prondy to the walk. He now stands at 2nd after the stolen base, and he's down 2-0 to Beato. That's a fly ball, left center. Drifting underneath it, making the catch, Caden Martell. And that will do it as the threat is turned aside by the Highlanders in the top half of the 6th inning. Tied up 2-2. We move to the bottom of the 6th here at Trum on Somerville NTV. Back at Trum Field on Somerville NTV. We move to the bottom half of the 6th inning. Highlanders will have numbers 3, 4, and 5, the heart of the order, going up against Jariel Benzon. Benzon has been excellent today, allowing only 2 runs so far through his 5 innings of work. Leaves that up high to Colin Bourne. Bourne 0 for 2 on the day. Struck out looking back in the 1st, lined out to shortstop, or second base, I should say, in the 4th. As he swings through that fastball, 1 ball, 1 strike. Now the count to Bourne. Benzon up over 80 pitches now. As that fouled back into the screen, 1 ball, 2 strikes, now the count to Bourne. Highlanders have been more patient in terms of their approach at the plate after the first 3 innings going hitless. They were able to get 2 across in the 4th inning. One, 2 offering to Bourne, evens the count, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bourne followed by Fusco. Had an RBI single today. Bourne puts a charge into that one into left field, but well played. Julian Rodriguez right there to make the catch. That's the 2nd time Bourne's had really good contact, but he hit it right at someone. That'll bring up Sean Fusco.
Now batting, the second baseman, number 5, Sean
As Fusco had the base knock up the middle, RBI single to plate the first run for the Highlanders back in the 4th. 1 for 2 on the day is Sean. That's a line drive right up the middle. Nice job of hitting by Sean again, staying right on that ball, right up the middle of the field. So Fusco stands at first with his second single of the game. And that will bring up Donovan O'Brien. O'Brien 0 for 2 today. Has grounded out to short and flown out to center field.
Number 30, Donovan O'Brien.
Fusco stands at first. He's the go-ahead run. So he leads away with 1 out. Fusco is running. Pena will hold the ball, and Fusco is in safely with no throw. So the Highlanders have the go-ahead run in scoring position. The pitch was a strike with 1 away here in the bottom of the 6th. 0-1 offering from Benzon. Checks Fusco at second. That's in the dirt. Fusco's going to be able to get to third as Pena wasn't able to track it off the screen. So the Highlanders have the go-ahead run 90 feet away. As Lynn English will have a conference on the mound with Jariel Benzon. Benzon has been excellent throughout this game, but Jariel allowed those 2 runs back in the 4th inning. Allowed a leadoff walk in the bottom of the 5th, but got 2 strikeouts to end that threat. But the Highlanders with a very sharp threat here with Sean Fusco at third base. Fusco, the sophomore second baseman, having an excellent game, 2 for 3 with a stolen base and an RBI so far today. Meeting on the mound is over. Donovan O'Brien will step in. 1-1 the count, 1 away here. Bottom of the 6th inning. Playoff implications abound. It's Coach O'Donnell getting a clarification from the base umpire about something. So Fusco stands at third. 1 away. A deep fly ball can give the Highlanders the lead. As O'Brien, 1-1 offering from Benzon in there for called strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Now the count to Donovan O'Brien. Benzon taking his time on the mound. That one fouled back to the screen as O'Brien stays alive. One ball, 2 strikes, the count to Donovan O'Brien. 1 away here, bottom of the 6th. Highlanders have the go-ahead run at third. As he did not go, ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Good job by O'Brien holding off of that pitch. O'Brien, fly ball right over my head, foul here on the first base side. Count remains 2-2 to O'Brien. As that will catch the outside for strike 3. O'Brien goes down by virtue of the strikeout. That will bring up Graham Ross. Ross got the second RBI single for the Highlanders back in the 4th. Plating the tying run. Has the opportunity here to bring home the go-ahead run in the bottom of the 6th as Fusco stands at third, 2 away. Hot shot by Ross. Foul on the first base side. Strike 1 for Graham. As we've talked about all season, Graham Ross, the lone senior on this roster. Such a young team for the Highlanders. Sophomore Fusco stands at third. The senior leader wants to bring him home. Fouled back into the screen by Ross. Falls behind, no balls, 2 strikes now. Two away, bottom of the 6th. Ross now down 0-2. And Ross fouls that one back into the screen again. As Benzon keeps going with that knee-high heat on the outside. Ross continuing to foul it off. That's a called strike 3. Graham Ross, frozen pizza. Well, that will do it for the Highlander threat as they leave Fusco stranded at third. We move to the top of the 7th inning here on Somerville Ed TV. Back at Trum Field here on Somerville Ed TV, tied up at 2s. We go to the last inning, top of the 7th. As the heart of the Bulldog order will be coming up to face Tommy Griffin. It will be numbers 2, 3, and 4, Elian Pena, Jariel Benzon, and Gilbert Galva. As Griffin came in to spell Preston Ardolino back in the 5th inning, he's gone 1 2/3, striking out 1 as he pitched around a walk and a man on second back in the 6th. Griffin's first offering down low, ball 1. To Pena. That one's in there for called strike 1 to Pena. Pena's been on base twice. He walked twice as Ardolino was able to get him with the strikeout that 3rd at bat. So 0 for 1 on the day is Pena. Two balls and a strike now to Pena. That's a hot shot. Ardolino, though, right there, had him played well. That will bring up Jariel Benzon. Benzon has been excellent on the mound, allowing only 2 runs through his 6 innings of work. At the plate, though, 0 for 2 on the day, striking out twice. He has walked as well. Griffin's first opportunity to face him as he was the last batter that Ardolino faced. That's a hot shot, first base side, out into right field. Easter coming on, will grab it, fire it in. Let's see the play at second. Fusco holds on. And Benzon is in with the double down the right field line.
Now batting first baseman, number 23, Gilbert.
That will bring up Gilbert Galva. Galva, 1 for 2 on the day. Hit a towering double down the left field line. The Highlanders want nothing to do with him as he did that against Griffin. He was the first batter that Griffin faced, so they're going to go ahead and put Galva on first. With first base open, that will bring up Julian Rodriguez, 0 for 3 on the day. He grounded back to Griffin back in the 5th, struck out twice against Ardolino. So the Bulldogs have runners on first and second, nobody out. As Rodriguez looks at strike 1. Highlanders have been working around trouble all day. They've only had one 1-2-3 inning. And that was the second when Ardolino struck out the side. That's a chopper, third base side. Bourne charging in, fires to first. He will get him at first base. As Rodriguez out on the 5-3 putout. Great play there by Colin Bourne charging in. However, the Bulldogs have the runners on second and third now as Rodriguez did his job by advancing the runners. That will bring up Engel Thomas. Thomas 1 for 3 on the day with a double and a run scored. He got the first hit of the day for the Bulldogs back in the 4th where they scored their runs. Swing and a miss at Griffin's first offering for Thomas. Bulldogs have runners on second and third. Go-ahead run stands at third. Tied up 2-2, one away here. Top of the seventh is Thomas. Puts that one out into center field. That's going to get all the way over Oliver's head. And that will score the 2 runs as Engel Thomas continues the theme of the day of doubles, as that's all Lynn English has gotten, and it's also gotten them the lead 4-2.
Now batting, the designated hitter, number 15.
That will bring up Eldry Bonilla. 0 for 3 on the day, struck out twice against Ardolino, flew out to center field. Back in the 6th, the Highlanders now trail by 2 here in the top half of the 7th. Every hit today for the Bulldogs has been a double, as that catches the outside for strike 1 to Bonilla. Thomas has doubled twice. Gilva has doubled. Benzon doubled. Beato as well as Prondiz. That's a fly ball out in the left field. It's going to get down. Another run will come around to score. They have a play at second, and they will get Bonilla as he tried to stretch that single into a double, but he gets the RBI and brings home Thomas from second base. Bulldogs able to get it. Highlanders able to get out of the inning with that play at second base. We'll see whether that run came around to score. As I believe it is a 5-3 lead. I believe that run did get in to score. So Bonilla out at second base trying to stretch that single. We will be back as the Highlanders got lots of work to do in the bottom of the second. Back here at Trum Field, Highlanders got some work to do. It's the bottom third of the order. They trail by 3, 5-2, after the Bulldogs put 3 across in the top of the 7th. Van Easter will lead things off for the Highlanders, followed by Caleb Seeley and Caden Martell. As Benzon, Jariel Benzon still on the mound, up around 95 pitches. Looking to go complete here. His first offering to Easter is a ball. Fastball knee high, gets in there for called strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike, now the count to Van Easter. That's outside, ball 2. 2 balls and a strike now to Easter. Home plate umpire comes out, do a little housekeeping there. Highlanders down 3 after the 3-run outburst by the Bulldogs in the top of the 7th. As the Highlanders look playoff elimination in the face here, trailing by 3. Easter looks at strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, now the count to Van Easter. Van, one of the young freshmen for the Highlanders. That's up high, ball 3, full count now to Van. There's Jariel Benzon looking to go complete on the mound for Lynn English. Easter pop fly, shortstop, Beato settles and makes the play. That's the first out of the bottom of the 7th. Highlanders got 2 outs remaining to do something with, as Caleb Seeley will come to the plate.
Now batting, the designated hitter, number 24, Caleb Seeley.
Seeley 0 for 1 on the day. He walked back in the 5th. Struck out in the 3rd. Benzon, first offering, outside, ball 1. Swing and a miss by Seeley, evens the count, 1 ball, 1 strike. This Highlander team Looking at the possibility of no playoffs for the first time in 4 years. Seeley fouls that back into the screen. Young team learning on the fly, lots of youth. Many freshmen and sophomores getting a lot of time. Sean Fusco, an excellent second baseman. The middle of the infield, Fusco and Ardolino have been excellent. As that is tipped back into the mid of Pena, the strikeout. And one out remains for the Highlander playoff hopes as Caden Martell will come to the plate.
Now batting, the left fielder, number 4, Caden Martell.
Martell, another one of the freshmen that we've seen so much of this season. As he watches strike one, catch that outside. Martell 0 for 2 on the day, lined out to the shortstop and also popped out to the shortstop. And home plate umpire has decided not to allow time. Now the rule is the batter is requesting time. The umpire does not have to grant time. Coach O'Donnell came in and called timeout. I will say the strike zone that has been in use demonstrates that the umpire might have dinner plans. So, no balls, 2 strikes to Caden Martell after timeout was not granted. And Martell staying alive there. Kicks it back into the screen. So Highlanders down to their final strike in terms of their playoff hopes. And that's a blooper. Second baseman Prondy will settle and make the play. And that will do it as Lynn English comes away with the 5-2 victory. Congratulations to the Bulldogs as they've made the playoffs in Division I for the first time in quite a while. Highlanders eliminated from Division II playoff opportunities here with this loss, as the loss will go to Tommy Griffin. Griffin had 2 2/3 innings worth of work. He struck out 1, allowing 3 runs. That's enough to take the loss in this 5-2 loss for the Highlanders. And that will do it for the Highlanders' playoff hopes. Unfortunately, great run of 3 years. They look like they might have another run coming up next year because we saw such great talent developing. The youth that we saw, we're going to see moving forward. Can't wait to see Preston Ardolino, Sean Fusco, Caleb Seeley, Caden Martell, all the rest of them, Donovan O'Brien as well at first base. And the rest of this young team as they get older and have that opportunity hopefully to break into the playoffs down the road. That will do it for us here from Trum Field. The Highlanders come up short against the Bulldogs of Lynn English by the score of 5-2. Good pitching performance by Preston Ardolino, 11 strikeouts over 5 1/3. His tremendous season does continue as the Highlanders fall in this one. Thank you very much, Bill Trudell on camera, Joe Constantine on direction. I am Todd Harmon, and you have been watching Somerville Highlander Baseball on Somerville Ed TV.